Welcome to the Isle of Man Manx Grand Prix, and boy, we can't wait to share the content that's going to be coming your way in and around the event.
Two wheels and a three.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course, there's going to be plenty of racing coming your way. But we're going to cover as much as the people in and around that racing.
Maybe what about the Manx Grand Prix? Oh, crikey to us. What's up there in the stratosphere, you know?
Sounds and the smells, hey?
Oh, it's like nothing else. Get the Castrol going again.
And you need a stepping stone. And the Manx is a good stepping stone.
Laps. They've got legends flying over from all over the place that were made at this great event. And of course, we've got entertainment. There's all sorts going on around the island. So we're going to share as much of that as we possibly can with you.
Fantastic to be back here, and obviously got the opportunity to ride the Ashport Racing RT45, which is a proper iconic machine.
And they couldn't have picked a better lad to get on it. Two-wheeling classics, relive the passion. Welcome to the Two-Wheeling Classics studio, and we're here at the Manx Grand Prix 2024, and lucky for me, I'm joined by the Melbray London team. Here we have Simon Warren and his rider for this week, Mr. Glen English, and some audience members as well. And so thanks for coming in, guys. Lucky for me, it's so fortunate about the weather. Lucky for me, you gave me some of your time this evening. You're able to come in and share some of your story and how you guys got here, what it's been like to come back, Glen. So Simon, we are going to come to you and talk about those great bikes that you brought over here and being a part of the event. But Glen, hello.
Hi.
Welcome back. So you haven't been here since 2000.
Yeah.
And you made your own imprint here on the Manx Grand Prix. So how does it feel to be back, first of all?
Well, I don't feel like I am back, really, because I've not been out. I've just done one a bit lap, really. So, yeah, I just can't wait to get out and have a proper... the lap I did was behind John McGuinness on the after the newcomers.
Yeah.
Just to make them familiarise myself with the circuit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm keen.
Yeah.
I was so keen this evening. I was all like, I was excited, and then it was like, walk down there and they've cancelled it.
This crazy microclimate weather.
Disappointing, but yeah, excited to come. It's exciting to be back.
Yeah.
Now I just want to get out. I just want to get out and do a few laps and then just feel relaxed and then concentrate on what needs to be done.
Yeah. So you won in 2000, didn't you? And now you've returned. Why did you leave it so long, and why did you decide to come back as well?
Well, I was supposed to do 2001 was Fortnum.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2002, my daughter was born.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't do it, which wasn't right. So I just, didn't do it. And then I did. So I never come back after that. It just seemed like an awful lot of effort when I was doing it, because it was hard. I did it for 10 years.
Yeah.
TT, and then I started doing the Manx as well, classics. But it was just so frustrating, just stupid problems after stupid problems. I was just really unlucky. And then Fred Walmsley got me a ride with Andy Molnar on his bike. And I was quite happy with that. It was good. And yeah, basically, then Fred, because Fred was involved, and Fred's bikes were always brilliant because he was with Bob Heath.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was always the challenger, but I was always having stupid problems, like condensers playing up or just ridiculous stuff. Frustrating, really, because the bikes were good. George Bill I was riding before. The bikes were, they were good bikes, but sometimes you just don't have luck go your way, do you? And then I was at the prize giving, and Fred Walmsley in his modest way sort of said, "Here, Glen, come in." I was like, "What's that, Fred?" He said, "Do you want to know how to win men's Grand Prix?" I said, "Yeah, go on and enlighten me." He said, "Do you want to know about a man about it?" So I was like, "Okay then." He said, "Put one under me and I'll do it." And that was it. And then the following year, he did get in touch, but he didn't have a bike himself available yet because he had Jason Griffiths riding for him. And I reminded him of what he'd said. He said, "Well, leave it with me." So he got in touch with Andy Molnar, who they were, together with, Fred was tuning the engines, so the Molnar bikes, but was doing all the engines on. So, I rode that bike that year. But unfortunately, we had a problem right at the start. So that was over before the race had even started. Well, I led it for about a yard as we left the line. So that was, So then we thought, I'll come back next year. And unfortunately, they had a lot of trouble in practice with the engine due to faulty plating that had been done on the back of cylinders. So it just kept seizing up. No fault of anyone's really, apart from the platers. And Fred had a spare engine that he'd shipped over. And he just said, "Go down to the airport and pick that engine up." So we shot down to the airport, picked up this engine and put it in my bike for the race. And I'd never used that engine before. And as soon as we got there and it was started on race day, it was just pouring me away on the start line. And they went, they were going to run it. I just said to Andy Moore, I said, "Don't even dare put pressure on me. So I'm just going to go out and ride the bike. I'm not going out to win today, mate. Sorry." He was good, actually. He just said, "Don't worry about it. Just ride the bike and have some fun." Took pressure off. Yeah. Just didn't feel any pressure. And then the race started and, it was flying. Just felt good. Just amazing, really. I remember I just took off from the start. I just couldn't believe that. It was easy, really, on that bike. I caught Bill on the first lap and the front wheel was coming up in places that I'd never had before in a classic. So it was like, I caught him up by the end of the first lap, but I went round the outside of him wearing Cronkley motors showing off. And then I just thought, "What are you doing, you idiot? Just sit behind him and just follow him for the rest of the race." I was only wet to Bannock. So then I just sat behind him. But then, of course, I sat behind him and then I'd lose concentration. So then he'd pull away and then I struggled to get back into the groove. And that was a very difficult bit because Bill was having a few problems with his bike. So his bike wasn't running that great, but we would have took the front. But so it was good. We averaged just under 106 for the whole race. So that was all through the wet bit as well. So that was, I finally achieved what I wanted to do. And like I say, I didn't come back the following year because of the foot and mouth thing. And then my daughter was born and just a couple of other things that happened. And I remember the thing that happened at the TT that year had never gone away, which was, I always used to do the ultra lightweight race at 125. But for this year, in 2000, they had the single cylinder race back then. And Fred Walmsley said, "Why don't you do the single cylinder race and I'll build you a 600 something cc Manx Norton. Because you're going to ride, but the same bike you ride in the Manx, we just put a slightly bigger engine in it." I thought that sounded like a good plan, that. So I said, "Okay, then we'll do that." So we had this bike at the TT, and the first lap of practice, I could hear the engine, it was detonating a little bit, and it had a Gardner carburetor, and you could just turn the needle and it would richen it up. So I pulled over, and as I did what Fred said to richen it up if it did this problem, but the engine stalled, and I couldn't start it again. It took ages. because it had such a high compression. Eventually got it started, it took forever. And then the same thing happened the following day. And for the rest of the week, it rained. So I had to put a qualifying time in. And the clerk of the course at the time wouldn't let me race. I said, what are you talking about? I said, how can you not let me race? You're asking me to go, you're saying I need to go fast in the wet to get that qualifying time. My track record, I'd finished third in the ultra lightweight a couple of years before, and fourth the year before. And he wouldn't have it. And there was me, Bruce Anstey and Jim Moody, who was the lap record holder at the time, all in the same position, hadn't gone fast enough on the first day. He wouldn't let any of us ride. Can you believe that? He said, no, you're not gone fast enough. You haven't qualified. But, a track record doesn't mean anything. He said, no. Unbelievable, wasn't it? So I said, then I'm never going to come back. That was really, yeah. But I did get talked into coming back for the mate. Fred said, oh, we'll get that bike, we'll put the 500 in it. You go back and show them. I did. So that kind of swayed it, really. But things have changed since then. But that was a lot of the reason why I never come back to the TT.
What a shame, but you left the roads then. So once Danielle was born, you did go on and collect a few more accolades.
Yeah, I was still racing. That was the thing.
Yeah. You just obviously didn't come back here.
Yeah.
So quite the list of things that you then achieved and picked up along the way. So you, of course, British Classic champion, world champion. Yeah. How many other things that you've picked up as well?
Well, I made a name for myself because I was doing originally. I was doing club racing, paying for myself back in the 80s, going nowhere fast because I didn't have any money. And then I was a dispatch rider in London at the time. And the company we're working for, the guy there, the boss of it, he says, oh, that Metropolitan Office machine, she said, where we deliver, he said, do you know the bloke there? He said, he sponsors a few riders in motorcycle racing. And who's that then? He said, Colin Aldrich. I said, oh, I've heard of him. He said, oh, I'll give me a CV, let's get a few photographs together. He said, I'll hand it to him and see, get you a ride. But at the same time, Chris Dabbs from Motorcycle News was a good friend of mine. Unfortunately, he recently died. And he was also on to Colin, saying, no, you want to sponsor this guy, because I was supposed to be Chris. And then there's another friend of mine was badgering Colin, so it all sort of coincided. But I never got this book of photographs back. And I couldn't get in touch with him. And eventually I got hold of him. And he said, oh, yeah, come in and pick it up. So I popped round and picked it up after work. I just instantly got on with him. He was a smashing fella. And it was like, because he was talking about the old racing in the old days. And I remember him said about Carlo Rubiali, he mentioned this. And I went, oh, yeah, sort of world champion of the 125s and all the MVs. And he was really impressed that I had a knowledge for the history of the sport, which I did. And he liked that. And he reminded me, he said, I remember reading it in a press article later on, he said, I reminded him of himself when he was younger, started out. So then he said he didn't have a bike, and he was sponsored, at the time he was sponsoring John Reynolds, Rodney Knapp, Rob Orme. And he said, I'm actually getting out of the sport. He said, but I end up with all these riders. And he's moved to the Isle of Man. So he got an FZR 600 that had been accident damaged, and it was a spare bike for Rodney Knapp. Was his main rider. He said, oh, well, you could ride the spare bike, and if Rodney needs it, you can have that. So I started riding for Colin, but he moved here. And I thought it was an opportunity to come to the Isle of Man. So, yeah, then I did that. And, it was, I've kind of just, it was good because I was little. The big thing at start money, and you could win a bit of money as well, so that sort of covered its cost. And then I just started getting the bug for it, really. It was always an ambition really to win a TT, because I started getting better and better. I've always wanted to do it. And but I wasn't one that just rushed in, because I thought progress slowly. And I've got to, no point rushing into it and hurting yourself, and it never happens. So, I wasn't, you get these guys that come over and they do amazing times in practice, and it always worries me, because, I was never one of them. Just sort of wanted to learn it proper before I pushed. But then, after sort of took me 5 years, I think, and then I thought I was quite good by that stage. And then I never had compared. You know, I've never really. I'd had a 125 Honda, but it was quite old. And then I think I finished 5th on it the year before in '95, and then I was in the paddock, and Terry Teese had Westminster Motors at the time. He had a little air Macca that he had Joey Dunlop riding it. He came past and he went, he said, I've just been talking to Clive Paget, he said, and he's got a 125 Honda there. He said, it's in the crate. He said, and I can hire, we can hire it, me and you. He said, it's £2,000 for the race. And I said, hey, that's all. He said, that's all right, Terry, but I ain't got £2,000 to hire that. He said, I'll give you £1,000 towards it. Like, really? I went, yeah. I said, wow. I said, what about the other 1,000? He said, well, you pay that when you win. I was like, yeah, I said, yeah, all right, that's a bit, yeah, what if I don't though? He said, oh, I'll worry about that later. And I was like, well, and then Colin Aldridge happened to walk past, and he said, I said, yeah. So I told him the story. He said, oh, I'll give you £500 towards you. So you only need 500 now. Oh, okay, it's getting closer. And I used to, and then when we went back to Colin's house every evening, we used to stop at the Mitre to have dinner. And Andy Kershaw used to go in there with John Peel. So we got friendly with them over the years. It was popped in there, and they were great. And Andy sort of, I told him the story, and he went, "Well, that's all right." He said, "I'll give you £500." Literally, this was in 1 hour. So I was straight on the phone to Clive. I said, "Well, where's that bike?" He went, "Oh, it's at Paget shop." So I'm coming down. So we just literally left the pump straight down and broke it out the crate, and then I only got out because it was like by the end of practice week. So I only got 1 lap on it. And it was completely standard. So yeah, took it out, and then Clive put the race kit on it for the race, but unfortunately he didn't give it up. So it was revving out everywhere, and it was a shame because I was 3rd place. I was only 13 seconds behind Joey that had won it. It was held in thick fog as well. Yeah, over the mountain it was thick. You couldn't really see, but I listened to the Manx Grand Prix commentary a few years earlier, and it was the junior classic race, and I think it was Jeff Tunstall, and he said, I couldn't see anything, but the posts, that the barbed wire post all over the mountain, he said, they're yellow when the corners come up. So I was just looking for the yellow post, and then I was turning. So I remembered what he'd said. So in this race, the ultra lightweight 1996, it was thick fog on the mountain, and I remember just going over there in blind fog, just thinking, right, when you see the yellow posts, it said F that, and that was it. That's how I did it. And the bike was over revving everywhere. So I was a bit annoyed because I think I should have had that one, but it's just one of them things, isn't it?
Wow.
But I was pleased to come 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was good.
And when a plan comes together, it's meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a shame really, because my thing was I wanted to win a TT, but I never did. I come close. And the following year, similar thing again. Same thing, I had the bike off Paget's, and that was a really good bike. And just before the start, but I didn't ever used to like using slick, because I like a cut slick, because I don't think the tyres worked hard enough to make a slick work. And I just like the idea of having treading it, because I thought if it does start to shower, at least I've got that. And I don't, So I goes up to my bike literally minutes before the start of the race, and the brand new set of slicks on it, not even scrubbed in. And I was like, what's that? And he said, we put new tyres on it for you. So they've not even been used. And he said, it'll be fine. I said, mate, come off it. And then the man from Michelin come over to reassure me, and I just said, don't even think about sending me a bill for them, mate. And he said, just go, they're all scrubbed. He said, they're not scrubbed in, I've deglazed them with whatever they used. He said, and just go flat out, it'll be fine. I said, you sure I can just go as fast as just get it out ready to forget the new tyres, just go for it. So that's what I did. And then I got to Courtbridge and it high-sided me. And thankfully I stayed on, but it frightened me so much. And I couldn't get, every time I went into a corner, I kept thinking, these tyres are going to let go because they're not scrubbed. And it wasn't until I got to the 13th milestone that I got it out of my head. Then I got going. And then unfortunately I got up to 3rd place. And then in the pit stop, we had a disaster with the pit stop and the fuel went everywhere. And the bike wouldn't start because it's gone down the carpet. And it didn't start till I was going down Bray Hill. So yeah, it was another disaster really, but that was kind of my fault really, the pit stop, because I've touched my pit crew. Shouldn't have done. Hindsight's fantastic.
Yeah, isn't it? So looking back there, I mean, you've got so many memories, and of your own achievements, of where you've raced, etc. But I want to know about the riders that you've raced against. So over the years, is there anyone for you that really stood out that you were like, wow?
Well, TT course.
On Mike's Grand Prix TT.
Joey Dunlop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's a hero, but not just because he could ride a motorbike, because of the man he was and the kind of person.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
You know, nice stories about, you know, how he was.
As a human being.
But what I liked about him, when he, you know, I got a really clear memory of him passing me when he come up from Ballacrane, and it goes left, and there's them sort of like little keeps before you go down to Ballard Bridge and Dorrans, and he passed me round there. It was early days, but they'd been doing it, I don't know, it's my second or third year, but he just passed me, and he just watching it, he was just so smooth, and like people say, I've got a really smooth style, they can spot me, but that, I think I sort of copied that style that he had, because it was just so unhurried and relaxed. You just go with the bike. And it's just the way the line he took, it just looked so elegant. I went, oh, look at the way he just, and you know, so then the next lap I come around, and it's like, wow. You know, and that's how I learned the course, really, was just following people like that. But yeah, so Joey was, fantastic rider. But yeah, there's lots of good riders. There's so many, but he stood head and shoulders to me, because he was just a good bloke. But I didn't really know him, you know. But I spoke to him a few times. The nicest memory really is early morning. Because I used to stay in Ramsey, in Colin Aldridge's house. So I never stayed in the paddock, so I didn't really know anybody. You meet, didn't you, in your mingle network and what they call it. But I remember after early morning practice, this Irish lad said, "Oh, come and have a cup of tea, Glen." And I was like, "Where?" He said, "In this tent, 'cause they had the tea tent." But I never got in there. And I'd gone in there and I sat down with this Irish fella. The next thing, Joey's come in and sat down next to me, and then Robert come in. Owen went down and come in. And I felt I'd never met these guys, but not really, you know. And then we're just sitting there all chatting about, you know, oh, where's the bike going? It's just sitting there. And that was a nice memory, that. Yeah, fantastic.
Wow.
So yeah, good people, you know, but they're all showed most of them are gone now. But yeah. And
you're returning.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about your sculptures, don't we? So you're an incredible artist. You obviously make the armour, you've made that with your dad, the film sets, and then you've got these sculptures, these Manx Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Honorary of the 100th anniversary, wasn't it, for the centenary?
Yeah, a bit late though, isn't it?
No, not at all. They're still collector's items, aren't they? So why, and tell us how that came about, why you felt the need to do that.
Yeah, well, I got the idea last year. I was to do that 100th anniversary sculpture, because I was thinking of making a return. I've met this guy here, Simon, and I was buying a type of Bonneville off my mate Kevin at Ace Classics, and so we had a barbecue sort of motorbike riding event in Biggin Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I met Simon there, and he was saying, oh, you know, about doing I thought about doing the Manx Grand Prix again. So funny enough, I have, yeah. He said, I don't know, through parade lap, I had 4 parade laps then. I said, but I keep getting told off for going too fast, I'm overtaking the marshals. I said, well, let me do it again. And I said, trouble is, I said, I still remember where I'm going. And because I still race, you know what I mean? I just go out and then he's like, well, if you want to do it, I said, we do it on one of my bikes. I thought he was joking. I didn't take him that serious, and he phoned me up the following week and he was like, you still want to do it? And I was like, are you serious? He said, yeah. And then it's like, oh yeah, I thought, yeah, I didn't take that persuading, did I?
No.
Yeah, it's just opportunities, isn't it? You got to take opportunities when they come along. If I like you, I've got to like the people I ride for.
Yeah.
You know, and if I ride good, if I like people that's a good, you know, I'm with them for enough. People not worth riding for, and it's just had a good feeling about it, really. And Tom's getting on it. I'm 58 now.
Nice.
You know, so the sculpture thing. I just started making it, but then I thought, if I'm coming back anyway, I'll do that. But then and I was going to publicise it, advertise, but then I had a job with my dad come in to make this Dracula sort of armour for the Luke Besson film. So we had to commission to make that. So this thing never got done, really. You know, so I didn't put it in the press, because Chris Dabbs again, so he said, oh, I'll advertise it, we'll get it in there. I was like, oh, you know, too busy, I won't be able to make them anyway. So that all got on hold. So a few, customers that I already had, had known I was doing it. So, sold a few of them, but could have sent a few more really.
Stunning pieces. Have a
I've got
look
one
at
up,
his
I've
website.
I've got one up there. I've got one in the paddock, and I did a painting as well.
Okay, yeah.
Because I had this bare patch on my bedroom wall, and I wanted a really bright picture. And then I saw this image of a motorcycle bursting through, and I thought, it's just giving me the idea to do this picture. So charcoal and a bit of acrylic, just yellow. And I did it, and a friend of mine liked it, and he bought one, and then I thought, people like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that up there as well. No, I'm not really paid. I don't really do, more sculpturing and more crafting really.
Mm-hmm.
That came out right.
It's there, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And Simon, I mean, what a great rider you've signed.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. I mean, Glen says about when we went to Ace Classics, but obviously I'm a massive motorcycle fan. I raced myself when I was much younger.
Did you race here?
No.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't good enough to do that. But I did short circuits on 125s and all that sort of stuff back in the 80s. And then later on in life, I went into and did a bit of motocross and enduro. And then obviously my son was born. I couldn't wait for him to get on a bike. And then he did schoolboy scrambling and all that sort of stuff. And he got quite good at enduro and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, cut a long story short, moving on to when I met Glen. Obviously, I've always collected bikes and restored them and, had a real passion. My dad worked for BSA and he worked for Honda. So it's always been in my blood from a very, very young age. I'm very fortunate with what I do for a job. Pays quite well, so I'm able to, spend my money on motorbikes rather than drugs and alcohol and all this sort of stuff. So when I saw Glen at the Ace Classics, I was like, my jaw dropped to the floor. I thought, that's an awful like Glen English. And he kind of walked over and I was kind of like speechless, a bit like hero worship. And I thought, I can't wait to ride off-road with him. He's going to teach me so much. But boy, how wrong was I. He's probably the worst off-roader I've ever ridden with. I couldn't believe that he was going around corners that are muddy with his knee out instead of his leg out. And I'm thinking, David Knight's got nothing to worry about here. But anyway, we got on quite well. We kind of bought each way. I bought him, talking about bikes and road racing and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, he's right. I had a Manx Norton, which is a Ray Petty 1960 Manx Norton. Being very naive about it to start off with. I said, we can ride that if you want. And obviously when I got a bit more involved in it and found out we can't ride that sort of thing, but you're not going to be very competitive against, the top guys. We ended up buying a bike, which was good, was a great bike. But then I got introduced to Tony Dunnell, who builds Manxes. I was actually like an auto jumper. I was showing one of my bikes there, and I bumped into this guy. Who kind of had I can't remember what he had on. I think it might have been an oil tank or something on his store. And I said, "Is that for a Manx Norton?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Have you got any more Manx Norton parts?" He said, "Well, come and have a look." And he opened the back of his van. He had 2 brand new Manx Nortons in there. So I was like, "Ooh." And then one thing led to another, and I spoke to Glen about it, and then I don't know, about £6 million later, we're here. But I couldn't wish for like a better rider. I mean, he's forget about riding motorbikes, all that sort of stuff. He's a really nice person, and like he said, I couldn't work with someone that I wasn't happy with. I'm super happy with him. He's a great person first and foremost. And he's quite good. He's quite handy on a bike.
Quite handy.
Apart from if it's off road, obviously. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we are. So we're super happy. I mean, he's riding our 350. Dominic Herbertson, we're lucky to have him on our 500. Mm-hmm. So for a first team, first year, I'm really, really happy where it's gone. The ultimate goal for me is maybe next year, hopefully, fingers crossed, and all that sort of stuff, is maybe to run a rider at the TT. That's what I'd like to do. But we just see how it goes.
Watch this space, eh?
Indeed.
Wow, great. Learning from each other and building this strong relationship that's going to go forward in many other ways, I'm sure. Yeah. Wonderful, guys. It's really great to have you in here and hear more of your story. I could just sit here for hours, I think, and hear more of it. But you need to get to dinner.
Yes.
You've not
sure.
eaten. Thank you for coming up. Thanks for you lots for joining us as well. There's just a few here supporting them. All the best this week. We're sponsoring the junior as well. So
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
we'll be double cheering you on.
Yeah.
And good word as well, Glen. Last year, we
Yes.
have to mention last year how well you did, but also
Yeah.
you got Rider of the Weekend. So you walked
I
up with
did,
that
yeah,
gorgeous,
yeah.
very cool jacket.
Yeah, and a big bottle of champagne that
Yeah.
we had on Christmas Day.
Yeah, did you?
But I got about half a glass to have it. No, that was good. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, really special. That's the other team I ride for. Is they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a strange. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, how things happen? You know,
It's just all the names and all
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
you know, you deserve to be up there. And you're obviously giving that.
Well, you were there,
award.
weren't you? Of course.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're going back there this year, of course.
Yeah.
with
Well, I
Steve
did
Plater
yeah, Steve
again.
Plater, yeah. Yeah, because it was like Simon and Nick Rowd had these old American bikes, didn't they? Always parked opposite. I've always known them. And they was like, I'm free to buy a bike. You know, would you ride it for us? I chat to you. Went into that German bar, Goodwood,
Yeah.
hatched the plan. And I said, okay, if you buy the bike, I'll ride it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exactly a year to the day was that race.
Right.
And me and Steve won it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know I'd won it, did I?
No. Yeah.
Because when we started it, there was all that oil for the chicane,
Yeah.
and they put so much cement dust down, all the riders all sliding around on it, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
But I kept watching the screen, and I thought all these riders, because it's obviously you have to swap riders, don't you? And the next rider gets on. But I thought all these riders waiting to go out are watching that, and they're going to go slow on their out lap because they're going to be expected it to be slippy. But I kept watching it, and by the end, I was thinking they're actually going through that quite quick now. Once all the dust had blown, so I thought. But Steve was 3 seconds behind because we had a bad qualifying. And through the race, he was still 3 seconds. So he couldn't close the gap, but he hadn't lost anything. So he was going the same speed, but I thought, I need to go 3 seconds on the outlap.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to take it easy through the cement. I'm just going to trust it. And that's what I did. Mm-hmm. So I came through. But I thought Michael Dunlop was in the lead on the MV, and there was someone was with him. So I presumed I might be at best dicing for third place. That's what I thought. When I come through at the end, I did into the chicane on the last lap. I just went straight underneath Michael Russell when he paused a bit for a back mark because I'm having that. I went under. And then, all the crowd were waving and whatever. And I just thought, it's good, but I didn't know it was wave anyway. And I had no idea I'd won it. I thought I might get third. And I was so disappointed when I come through the chicane and the marshal was waving me into the park third, mate. Then he went, no, down there. And I rode up to the start line, there was no one there. And I was like, that's strange. Where's Paul and the other bloke? And Fred Wormsley was there, and I went, where did I finish? He went, what do you mean you won it? How did I win that? It's not, bizarre. Yeah, it's good.
Great.
It was a year to the day that we had that conversation. So it was quite a happy team that day.
What an event to be a part of and to make your mark on as well, right?
Yeah, it's brilliant. So we'll do that again, 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same
All the
team,
best
different
of
bike.
that. Great. Well, listen, guys, I'll let you get to your dinner. Thank you
Brilliant.
again.
Yes.
And best of luck with the race. And let's pray to the weather gods.
Yeah, let's hope we get some laps in because I need it.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks so much. And you just joined me doing a two-wheeling classics. Two-wheeling. Relive the passion. Welcome to the Isle of Man Manx Grand Prix, and boy, we can't wait to share the content that's going to be coming your way in and around the event.
2 wheels and a 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course, there's going to be plenty of racing coming your way. But we're going to cover as much as the people in and around that racing.
Maybe what about a Manx Grand Prix? Oh, crikey to us. What's up there in the stratosphere, you know?
Sounds and the smells, hey.
Oh, it's like nothing else. Get the Castrol going again and
And you need a stepping stone. And the Manx is a good stepping stone.
We've got legends flying over from all over the place that were made at this great event. And of course, we've got entertainment. There's all sorts going on around the island. So we're going to share as much of that as we possibly can with you.
Fantastic to be back here, and obviously got the opportunity to ride the Ashcourt Racing RT45, which is a proper iconic machine.
And they couldn't have picked a better lad to get on it. Two Wheeling Classics. Relive the passion.